Hello and welcome to our short flight today from Minneapolis to Chicago Midway International. We're using the 717 TFDI today with the flight beam Kilo Mike Sierra Papa. And without further ado, let's jump in. First of all, I'm gonna put the ground power unit and get some battery going, external power coming on, and emergency power on. Headers can come on. I will go with logo and nav light and overhead floodlight and instruments floodlight too. Let's go with emergency arm and seat belts on, no smoke light on. And let's wait for the displays to come on. So I already loaded the aircraft with the necessary fuel for our flight today, and the loading is been done. So our flight today will be Delta 8551, and we will be departing runway 30 right. We'll assume our clearance of 6,000 feet upon departure is received. So we'll go 6,000 there, 5201, and we'll have it to TA. Okay, for the weather radar, I'll go turbulence and with the tilt for above. Okay, we have displays coming on right now. Let's start setting the FMC. So FMC, flight plan, and we're going today from Minneapolis to Chicago, Kilo Mike Delta Whiskey. And we're gonna align the irises. We're gonna assume our departure airport as an alternate. Flight number 8551. Our cruising altitude will be flight level 350 and our coast index is 35. Our block fuel will be 12,000 and we will have our takeoff gross weight from the iPad here. So we'll have 112.3. We're gonna put that in and that will fill the zero fuel weight. And we have center of gravity of 25.7. And we are done here. So for takeoff, I'm gonna go to the second FMC, get the temperature in here. So today we're not that heavy, so I will not derate a lot. So 48 will be enough. For the slope, we have 0 at 447 headwind today. So 18 Celsius degrees for the temperature there. Flaps 13. And we have V2 at 143 and stab trim at 2.7. So 143 at 2.7. And we are good to go. So flight plan will go 30 right today through Romeo Sierra Tango 8. We're gonna insert that. And we're gonna go through Delta Bravo Cubic there. And Bravo Delta Foxtrot. I'm gonna set up the arrival once we are approaching. So for now, we are almost good to go. So we'll go ahead and show our checklist here. A very neat feature of the TFDI 717 to have the checklist here. So I'm gonna skip almost all the pre-flight checklists because I already loaded this aircraft from a previous session. So we'll assume everything is good to go. We're just gonna make sure a few things are good, and then we're gonna push back and start our engines here. So I'm gonna have my VORs, traffic and data shown. I'm gonna go to the overhead panel, switch the bleeds isolation valve to open, and we're gonna have the anti-ice and the windshield to on, hydraulics, trans and aux on, and we're gonna start the APU. So the right aft fuel pump coming on, the APU master start, and we're gonna wait for the APU to start. So for the time being, we're gonna show some flight beam beauty. I mean, this is very nice scenery, guys, and it's their latest one actually. So here we have the APU spooling, very good sound from the TFDI team there. So we have 100%, yep, we have 100% on the APU, and we're gonna go ahead and start the APU gen. So external power to off, APU air to on, and yeah, we're gonna exit that checklist. Okay. Oops, not that button. Okay, yeah, I'll have to go. Okay, exterior ground power unit is disconnected. Back to our documents there. And we're gonna set our park and brake and call for pushback. So prepare for pushback. We're gonna have the nose facing left towards our runway there. And we're gonna zoom in to our pushback checklist there. So doors are closed, hydraulics pumps are on, fuel panel is set.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
Transponders are on, ice protection is set, beacon light is on, park and brake will be released for pushback. Okay, we're just waiting for the G6 to finish their procedure, and we should be on our way. Today we're not using any ATC services like Pilot Edge or something, so we are on our own. So release park and brake.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Start at will, and we'll start engine number 2. So here we have it. So we have multiple aircrafts pushing back together. I hope we are the first though. So TGT, and yeah, let's get the engine display there. And that's a good start. On hot days, I will be more concerned because it will creep out to that limitation there. So today is 17 degrees Celsius, not that bad. And we should have our starter get out at 40% and 2. Yep. Okay, it looks stable. Although N1 is not at idle, but I'm gonna go ahead and start engine number 1. Let's pop outside and see the other engine. Now, yep. And here we start.
Set parking brake.
Okay, set park and brake. Gonna put the terrain display there. If I can find it. Yep. So terrain there. We have the weather radar. I should have turned off my weather radar because of the people in front of the aircraft, but I mean they're just virtual people, right? Anyway, so after start checklist, engine ice is not needed, air conditioning panel. We're gonna go ahead and switch on the packs and isolation valve to auto, and we should hear the packs coming on. So I'm gonna put the taxi light to on. Air conditioning panel is set, flaps is to 13.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
Spoilers armed. Takeoff speed is verified, and stabilizer trim is set. So for now we're good to taxi. Delayed after start. Yeah, this checklist is kind of go with a weird orientation, like from left to right somehow, and sometimes from top to bottom. Anyway, so we're gonna do before takeoff checklist before we reach up our holding point. So let's start taxiing. I'm gonna go ahead and arm our profile and nav, and it should be a fairly short taxiway to our 30 right there. And I have very sensitive rudder panels there. I should configure those to have much less sensitivity, I guess. Anyway, here our pivot turn coming in. And we should be exiting at pop-up 1, so all the way at the end. Lucky us, we have not seen anybody taxi to the runway before us, and that could put us almost 10 minutes delay time. So here comes our Papa 3 and Papa 2 taxiway. Yeah, we have Papa 2 and we are going for Papa 1 there. So as you guys might see, actually we have no vectors displayed on the map in here. And so we're gonna go ahead and fly our heading until we're established our departure. Then we're gonna go direct to our next waypoint. So that's 30 right. Departure runway is verified. Takeoff briefing, we'll assume it's completed. Brake temperature, I'm gonna go to config. So brake temperature is good. Flight controls, full left, for right, and full down. Yep, full up. We have an issue with TFDI, so it's right. So rudder for left, for right. So transponder can come in. TARA, landing light are on, and strobes. And we will notify our flight attendants for takeoff. So we're good to go. Very nice scenery. So that's our runway. It's a bit cloudy today at Minneapolis, but that's alright. One last thing, we're gonna sync our parametric pressures there. So just did that, and we are good to go. Gonna start our watch there, and takeoff set. Okay, I'm trying to maintain that center line there. 100 knots. And V1, rotate. Positive rate of climb, gear up. So I'm gonna, you guys can see it's actually switched to our next waypoint, and instead of the vectors that was shown on the FMC. So that's good. So we are going direct to our next waypoint, and we're gonna go to 350, assumed we have been cleared to that flight level. Okay, flaps can come up, and flaps up. Very cloudy day to fly in, but it adds to the immersion, I believe. So let's see how the aircraft is going. I mean, this aircraft is a lot of fun to hand to fly. Although sometimes it can pretty darn tricky, but I like to fly it, to be honest. So I'm gonna switch on the autopilot.
Stabilizer motion.
Yep. And we're gonna do the after takeoff checklist. I was pitching a little bit down there. We exceeded our 250 speed limit there. So landing gear is up, hydraulic, trans, and auxiliary switches can come off. APU can come off. Flaps up, spoilers disarmed, and we're good to go. So very cloudy day. So that put us almost 56 minutes away from our destination. 9,000 feet. Probably gonna switch the seatbelt sign to off. And next will be our landing lights. So 10,000 feet. And we are fairly on the dot, I believe. A little bit bumpy. You can see here the Orbx logo is applied on the ground there. And you can see here the prepared version for very good cloud shadows coming in. Oh, that was a big bump there. And you can see here how the shadows and fingerprints on the display. It's a very gorgeous aircraft, guys. So climbing up, oops. Yeah, it's a little bit bumpy today.
Stabilizer motion.
And stabilizer motion. So I'm gonna wait until 18,000 feet, which is our transition altitude, to switch to standard barometric pressure there. And let me show you guys some of the neat features on this aircraft. So if we switch to air, and you guys can see me get closer, you can see the cabin temperature, the cabin altitude, the rate, and the differential pressure, and how's the outflow valve is doing, and how much PSI coming from our aircraft, and how's from our engines. So very neat. Let's switch to electric, for example, and you can see here every generator coming in, coming off. You will have a very detailed representation of that. So I'm gonna go back to stats, which is basically any item that require the status display to be shown. So any malfunction, you guys have it in here. So I'm gonna switch to external view for now. Very gorgeous ground textures and active sky. Cloud Art did a fantastic job with those clouds. So 16,000, and here another bump. I mean, you guys can go ahead and get chase plane, and you can manually adjust that sensation of bumps and turbulence. But to be honest, I mean, it will be really bumpy flight, any flight. So I had mine adjusted to show almost like very maxed out bumps to be shown on my aircraft to be kind of little bumps, so I won't be thrown away all over the airplane. So coming up 17,000, and we have absolutely no weather on our way today. So I might tilt my weather radar a little bit down to see further, but I don't think we have anything on our way there. So 18,000 parametric to standard, which was almost identical. So altimeter is set, and we can go ahead and scroll to the left for some reason. Okay. To show our descent checklist. Very neat feature. So we can see exactly how much cloud there are on the left here. And you can see the shadows and how everything represented there is very awesome, to be honest. So I'm gonna cut the video here, and I'm gonna go back to you guys before our descent there to show you the remaining of our flight. So stay tuned. So welcome back, guys, and we are almost in our top of descent there. So I'm gonna go ahead and start the flight plans for our arrival there. So arrival today will be using the ILS for runway 31 center, using the Motiv 5 star, and the transition of Bravo Delta Foxtrot. So we're gonna insert that, and we're going basically to make sure everything there is set. So flight plane, here we're good. Motiv, GDI, and yep, that's actually went very well, and that will be our missed approach. So that was a very good example of good execution somehow. So here we're gonna go and set our altitude to 1700. In real life though, you will be descending very gradually through ATC. So ATC will clear you to, let's say, 25,000, then 15, then flight level 1, 2 or something until you're established on that runway. So 170, and we can go ahead and look to our descent checklist before we reach our top of descent, which is, by the way, we can look at in our flight plans. So this is, as far as I'm concerned, is broken on this aircraft as per now, as per today. So it's not showing exactly the real number, basically. So I'm gonna make sure our speeds there are good. Yeah, basically our speeds are very, very good in there. So I'm gonna go to progress, and we can see here our approach speed of 143 at flaps 40 extension. So again, progress page. I'm gonna look at the descent checklist altimeters. So we're gonna check those at our transition altitude. And I know for now, which is a bit too early, we're gonna have an altimeter of 29090, but that's too early though. Our minimums will be 200. I know I seen it there, yeah. So our minimums are set, landing data is verified, approach briefing completed, and hydraulics, trans and pump switches should go on. So ice protection is already set. We have no ice detected on our weather today, so seat belt sign will be coming off. And I'm a little bit concerned about those two gentlemen here. Yeah, this one is kind of creeping on me. Yep. And I think I'm gonna have to disconnect the autopilot and a little bit fly away, maybe. Let me zoom in. We, we're gonna miss him though, but not by much. Okay. He's not that close though. Next guy. Yeah, this one is heading toward us though. Yeah. That one is fairly close to us, but anyway, we're gonna start our descent. So seat belts can come on, hydraulics pumps to on. Maybe we can notify our flight attendants that we're gonna need almost 20 minutes for our destination there. So here we are descending. This flight today was actually done by, I think, Southwest, and took almost 2 hours instead of the 58 minutes that we're trying to achieve here, just because it was there was a few thunderstorms in the Minneapolis area, and the aircraft had to divert kind of north and then come back towards Chicago. So welcome back again, and as far as you guys concerned, the sim is actually crashed on me, hence the reason why we have some exceedings on our N2, because I loaded the FCU IPC saved file there, and we are back to our flight again, but with an exceeding. So that I don't really care about, as long as we have our flight instead of wasting the whole thing. So let's again switch on the seat belts to on. And we have a lot of traffic coming from the Chicago area there. We are surrounded by tons of traffic. So we're coming nicely there. I'm gonna just make sure that everything is set. Nothing has been somehow corrupted by our crash. So 109er, 0.9er. I know the aircraft will put it for me, but I'm gonna just put it in case. So we're a bit lower than we would like. So we're a bit low. Not that much, but we're a bit low. $27,000 coming along. It's getting a little bit shaky because of high speed and low altitude. You can see Chicago area down there starting to show. 26,000. I kind of switched to air so you guys can see how everything is interacting with us here. We have the cabin differential pressure and the rate and the landing altitude. Very neat stuff. Gonna switch back to config. And here we have motive, which is our first leg in our star today. Okay, zooming in a little bit more. I'm gonna head to tilt below. So 21,000, and for our landing today, we're gonna have 10 knots, almost 10 knots tailwind. So it's not gonna be an easy landing. So you guys have to bear with me on this landing. So 20,000, coming along nicely. $19,000. Flight plan. Gonna just make sure every speed there is set. So I'm gonna add 250 in here. Now I think because of the limitation in there, so 18,500, and I'm gonna be looking to our pressure, barometric pressure today. That's gonna be 29901. So we're barely touching it. So it's 29901. So approach checklist, flight navigation, verify cabin notification. I'm trying to just do it for the sake of it. Flight attendants prepare for approach. Altimeters 29901, and cross-checked. We have it on auto, so all of them will be synced. Okay. $16,500, and our flight path is not that bad. I mean, we're still a bit low. So 12 minutes until arrival. Whether they're, I mean, beside the tailwind, it's gonna be very good weather. So 15,000. Yeah, that save of flight is actually kind of made the aircraft a little bit broken. I mean, although I had the auto throttle on, there was some discrepancies between both engines, but it's all good. We're gonna have control over it, basically. $13,000. Gonna zoom in a little bit more. Gonna zoom in into that terrain display, terrain radar. Although I don't believe there is any terrain coming into Chicago Midway area. Beautiful sunset today. should be at 11,000 at GOT. That is exactly where we at. So 10,000 is coming in. And we can see the Chicago area lights there. So 10,000 lights can come in. Nose light can come in too, although it's a bit early for them. So speed 250. A little bit steep approach in there. I mean, I noticed some glitches in the autopilot system with this aircraft, but for the most part it's doing exactly what you want it. I mean, you should not rely on the aircraft basically 100%. You should be like on control, just to make sure everything goes as you wanted it. So we are actually capturing our glide path there, yeah, and localizer. So although we're not facing that localizer and glide slope, so we're not seeing very good data coming from them. So some clouds we're gonna pass. And that haze and the sunset there. $8,000. And we are a bit on our glide slow path, although we should go lower. But I mean, we're still not facing that glide slope, so we cannot really judge our altitude or path exactly now. Passing some clouds, getting a little bit bumpy. Not bad. So, can I just make sure that we're not gonna be high, basically. So I'm adding a little bit of speed brake there to capture our vertical path there. Very gorgeous weather today. Man, those textures are like very well made. And you can see the Chicago area there. You can see also the river down there. Anyway, I'm gonna lower the flaps, wind decrease, just to get us slowed a little bit. So more oxygen popping in. Yeah, I mean that safe flight kind of broke the sim and the aircraft, so
Speed brake.
speed brake.
Speed brake.
Yeah, and we also, yeah, we had to reload everything. I'm gonna go gear down.
Altitude.
And we captured our glide slope and localizer successfully. So flaps can come in.
Stabilizer motion.
And we are established. So speed brake armed,
Stabilizer motion.
landing gear down, 3 greens, flaps are 40, spoilers are armed, and we are good to go. So let's set our just approach altitude. That will be 2600.
Stabilizer motion.
And we will disconnect the autopilot at almost 1000 feet.
$1,000. Stabilizer motion.
So we have our minimum set, so I'm gonna disconnect the autopilot. We have 12 knots tailwind, so that's not an easy landing. So
Autopilot
coming off.
$400. $300. Minimums.
Minimums continue.
$100.
Glide slope.
40.
Glide slope.
20. 10. 5.
Okay, and we are on the ground, guys. So we're gonna exit to the right here. And so So I'm gonna start the after landing checklist. Spores are up, flaps are up, and landing lights are off. Nose light to taxi, and we have the strobes to off with our TA for the ATC. We can switch it off. I'm gonna keep it TA just to see the other traffic, and weather radar to off. And we're gonna taxi basically to the terminal. So I had another crash after landing, so I have to actually talk to DFDI to sort of why I'm having those issues. But anyway, looking at the flight Tampa scenery here, you can see the terminal far on the right. And so I'm not actually going to cut the flight here, just so you guys can have basically a good look at the flight Tampa Midway Airport here. So here there are some Southwest aircraft parked there. I'm gonna turn into Cubic there, yeah. And we're gonna cross the 2 left. So out of my head and looking to the charts here, I'm gonna go ahead and pick Bravo 7. So yeah, we just saw GCX loaded there, so that's good. So I'm gonna start the APU. I know I have started it before we crashed. So that's our turn. Can't overshot that turn, but anyway. So just for the sake of our marshal, I'm gonna switch off the taxi light. Yeah, I'm hoping that we don't push him to the glass there. Please, yeah. I mean, it's your call, man, but preferably, yeah, I have to adjust that later on. Anyway, okay, parking brake is set, and we have the APU on, so our engines can come off. APU gen is on, so PCAN can come off, and we can do the shutdown checklist. So here you guys have a fairly quick flight from Minneapolis to Chicago. I hope you guys like it. So subscribe if you enjoy it, and hope to see you in the next video.